Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I'm a healer. Hello to those of you who are subscribed. Thank you for still being around. It has been a while. And if you're new here on the channel, then welcome. I took a break in order to step back because I felt like we'd done a lot of foundational work here on the channel, set up a foundation, and I needed to get inspired, spend some time with my God, my source, and get inspired for the next direction for the channel. And so I have been, and we're going to dive deep into the co-creative element. This channel, this space is going to be for healing, expanding, strengthening, renewing your co-creative relationship with spirit. So there's going to be content here, but I do also offer intuitive readings, individual readings, and I also have created healing work and specific healing work that has to do with co-creative manifestation. And so all of that is going to be on offer. I'm going to be sharing much more around that, doing much more here on the channels. It's really going to grow and expand. And so I'm happy that you're here. And that being said, I have a reading for you today that is deep messages from spirit. I've already recorded them, and yes, they're deep, very profound, and really beautiful messages. So I hope that they can serve you. There are 3 options. Timestamps are in the description box, and I'll see you in your reading in just a little bit. Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to those of you who have chosen the first option. We have here some messages that Spirit has for you. And these are really, really deep and profound and really an awesome message, but it can be a message that's difficult to receive. So what I would say to you watching this reading is, first of all, don't freak out, don't be alarmed, all is well, and it's a great message. However, Spirit is going to be touching upon some pressure points. So a really good idea while you're watching this reading is to pay attention to yourself and to see if, when, and where you're getting triggered, because that's going to be the gold mine, and that's going to be what you're going to be wanting to work on and to work with in order to move forward in this situation. So, love. Let's look at the cards, and then I will give you your awesome, awesome message, I promise. It's really good. So we have Voyage of the Heart, love flows through you and to you. We have got Divine Perfection with Archangel Melchizedek and Selenite. We have a Prince of Swords, Surrender, Denial. The Hanged Man, Major Arcana number 12. We have a Six of Wands. We have a Queen of Swords, Major Arcana number 5 with the Hierophant. And we have an Ace of Swords, right? So all is well. Okay, so what Spirit is talking about here is Voyage of the Heart, where there is a situation in your life that is intended to be one where Spirit wants you to experience the most happiness, the most love, the most joy, the most of everything, really. It's a situation in your life that is intended to light up your heart, so to bring passion, to bring joy, to bring love, really, and even love energy and the creativity of love energy and its abundance and its healing, to bring lots and lots of positivity into your life. So it's a situation where you're intended to receive a lot of love, but you're also intended to give a lot of love. Now, I'm not getting more specific. It's going to be different for everybody watching. However, what's going to be determining, so you can know what I'm talking about, what on earth is she talking about, there's this aspect of the lot of love that is intended to come to you, but with Divine Perfection, there's also an aspect of it being, and the Hanged Man actually, it being stalled. So it's a situation that is not living up to its potential. It's not living up to everything that it was supposed to be when you first started, when you first entered into it. You went into the situation with a lot of positive expectations and anticipations, rather, with a lot of positive intentions, also wanting a lot and seeing that you were going to receive so much. It's like a golden situation, and it's not necessarily an all that glitters is not gold situation. So it's not about it being that there's a hidden aspect, or it's not as good, or it's not as great. It's not that at all. What it is simply that the potential in the situation seems stuck. It seems like it's not delivering itself, it's not giving itself. And one of the meanings of the Hanged Man is being in an uncomfortable position, being on hold until we realize illumination, clarity, enlightenment, right? And that's what Spirit is saying. This situation is on hold in terms of it giving all of its potential, because there's something that you're not seeing, you're not seizing, you're not picking up on it in the situation. But when you do, you're going to be able to turn things around and really arrive at the divine perfection that is there for you, that is divinely intended for you. It's like Spirit is saying, I made this situation to be perfect for you. It's intended to be perfect for you in every single possible conceivable way, because perfection is complete. And so you are intended to find wholeness in this, completion in this. But just because you're not experiencing it now doesn't mean that you won't. And certainly Spirit is saying you are divinely intended to. Now, one of the aspects is in this card of divine perfection, it talks about how some things in life are just, how do I put this? There's two main flows, especially when we're doing spiritual growth and evolution. There's one flow that is about surrender. Everything is divinely perfect as it is. And then there's another flow that I would call actually co-creation, where we work at making things perfect. We engage with what is to make it perfect. And this notion of perfection is coming back over and over and over again, because perfection is not realized. So perfection is not because it looks like this or this is happening or that's happening, but perfection is an essence. And again, the essence of what is divinely intended for you is perfect. So the person, the relationship, the job, the life purpose, the activity, even the food that you are divinely intended to enjoy will be perfect for you. And when you engage with it, when you receive it, when you love it and it loves you, you're going to feel perfection and you're going to have an experience of perfection. So in that sense, it does become realized, but it's not about specifics and it's not about how things look or how things fit together. It's about how right it is for you, how aligned it is for you. It's perfect for you. You are intended to have this. With the Six of Wands, you are intended to be victorious in the situation. And the Six of Wands is also a card that kind of talks about ostentation in some way, where we're showing our success. It's like there's an obviousness to the success that you're intended to have in this situation. It would be like, if it's a relationship, it's like the two of you together would be obviously, manifestly a power couple. If it's a job, it's the kind of job where you would just be obviously successful at it. Like on paper, you have every single reason to succeed at it, but you being in that job would even be something that other people would look toward and say, oh, that's how to be a teacher. That's how to be a banker. That's how to be a singer. It's like that. It's like that. There's just something incredibly synergistic about you and the situation or circumstance, where you just merge together and embody not just success, but even like a higher level of success, a level of success that has the essence of divine perfection in it. Wow. That's amazing. That's really, 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 really amazing. However, once again, it's not really happening right now, and it is not flowing. And so what Spirit wants you to know is that the illumination that you need to receive with this Prince of Swords is that you are settling for something. You are a very big being in this situation, and again, there's a lot of success that you can attain to, but there is a smaller version of yourself driving this situation. So if you were like behind the wheel driving a car, it's a smaller version of yourself that's driving this car, that is leading things, that is making decisions, that is choosing, that is also setting the approach. With the Prince of Swords, for me, the Knights are a lot about how we approach things. And so here there is an approach with the Knight of Swords and even the Hierophant that talks about the Knight of Swords. This is how it's done. It seems logical. It seems to make sense. And this is you approaching things according to the logic that you have, according to the word that's coming through is intelligence that you have. But of course, that could be the trigger, right? It's triggering me, but it's not about the intelligence that you have. It is, but it's about not saying like smart or intelligent or wow, I'm really feeling a block there. So that's my stuff. But or why is that? Because where I'm not going is of course saying like dumb, to be dumb or to be stupid. Stupidity, yes. I have a big thing about stupidity. For me, stupidity is this thing where people are formatted to think in a certain way. And again, that's also the meaning of the Hierophant. So it would be like, if you can see it. The best example that I love is in all of these alien movies. Alien technology comes to Earth, they show up, and what do the governments do? They bring out their guns and they start fighting with them. Fighting with this higher race that has come and is probably more technologically advanced, and usually in the movies it doesn't work out well. But you always have these characters who are like, no, we have to defend ourselves, and and we have to do this, and we have to do that, and that's stupidity. You don't even stop to think, hey, they're actually stronger than me, so I'm relying on force, but they're actually stronger than me. Maybe it's not a good idea. Or, you know, how we just do things over and over and over again without stopping to think that it's not the best way. It is the way that we know. It is the way that we're used to. But especially with surrender denial here, there's this element of applying, maybe you're applying common sense. With the Hierophant, it's not about necessarily something that's outside of yourself, but it's much more, yeah, common sense, what is commonly known. Oh, how things are commonly done, norms, even dogmas, but generalized perspectives that are not necessarily tailored to your situation, but you're applying those in the situation, and in so doing, you are pacifying a smaller version of yourself who's really afraid. With the denial here, it says, accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. And I love how it's all really coming together, because it's like there's a smaller version of yourself who's afraid in this situation, and you see everything that you have to gain and everything that you want to gain in this situation, everything you're intended to have, but it's like you bypass the aspect of how perfect it is for you, and instead just focus on how to get it and how you're going to get it. What you rely on, it's almost like a default setting. Like when you have a computer, factory settings, your default settings and setup, the program that you're running on, and it seems very societal or cultural. So it could be something from your gender, or your ethnicity, or your country of origin, or even your industry, how things are done in your industry, or how things are done in your family. This is how we do relationships. This is how we handle it when we're getting married, or we're doing A, B, C, or D. It's just the way. So that's the kind of energy that's coming in, and Spirit is saying it's time for you to wake up and realize that it's just not working for you. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you, because that's also what the smaller part of you would say. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you for it not working for you. That's not what it's about. We're going to see what it's about. But it's like you have to face the feeling of maybe failure, or feeling again that something's wrong with you, self-deprecation, self-attack. You have to face that in order to surrender the denial and arrive at the clarity, at the truth that this is not working. And so divine perfection is again this notion that things are perfect just the way they are. Everything is always perfect, right? Everything always happens for a reason. And that could be the logic that you're telling yourself, and Spirit is saying that yes, that's true. Everything is always perfect in the grander scheme of things, absolutely. But at the same time, and that's the wisdom of this card specifically, at the same time, there's also a way in which we can co-create the perfection. So there's always something that we can do. And this is Spirit telling you, don't settle. Don't settle for where you're at in this situation, because you can have so much more, so much more. It's simply a matter of you doing what it takes to unlock it. And with the Queen of Swords, you know this. You know this. I am. Well, I'm not preaching to the choir quite yet. You're not on the choir, but you're certainly in the congregation. You're in the church, right? So you know this. You have a clarity of this, but you are looking at the Hierophant, and you're looking at these common sense understandings. You know that they are lacking. You know, it's like back to the example with the aliens in the movie. You're in the room when everybody's talking about attacking the aliens, and you know it's not a good idea, and you want to say something, but you don't, right? And that's what the Ace of Swords is talking about. It's like you don't realize that you have sovereignty in this situation. You're not saying something because you don't know that you have the right to say something. And it's the same thing in this situation. Spirit wants you to realize that you have the right to have exactly what it is that you want, that you need, that you deserve to have in the situation. And moreover, in a specific way, you deserve the perfection. You deserve perfection in this situation. And it's not about perfectionism. It's not about control. It's not about you deciding exactly how it's going to look and how it's going to feel and what you're going to get out of it for it to appear perfect to you, for you to experience it as perfection. No, Spirit is telling you, you will experience it as perfection. You're going to experience it as success because you're divinely intended to experience it in that way. However, in order for that to happen, you have to get clear on the fact that how you're going about things in this situation, how you're approaching it, is counterproductive to you actually getting the perfection. And so for some of you, you're actually seeking perfectionism in the situation rather than the divine perfection that you're intended to have here. You know this. Let yourself know what you know and really own the fact that with this crown here, you have sovereignty in this situation. You're entitled to have things the way that you want, that you need, and that you deserve for them to be. And if you will go for that, if you will go with that, then the situation kind of gets unlocked. And the sovereignty is this ingredient that's needed to unlock the potential here to get things rolling. So let's draw you some more cards. I want to draw some cards specifically of advice, how to get sovereign in this situation. And Spirit is saying, first of all, you have to cease and desist. You have to stop doing the things that you know don't work. 3 or 4. If you know that it doesn't work, stop doing it. If you know that it's not for you, just stop doing it. I'm hearing like, yeah, but that's how it's done. That's what it takes. Well, we're going to start, First, oh, I love this. We've got Major Arcana number 21, the World. We have got the 3 of Swords. Yes. We have the 2 of Wands, and we've got the 8 of Wands. Okay. With the World, Spirit is saying that everything that you've learned, everything that you know in terms of this common sense, this normalized knowledge that you have, understanding, perspective, it represents the end of a cycle, and it represents a form of completion in and of itself. You have all this knowledge. It's great. It's fantastic. But it doesn't mean that you have to limit yourself to it. After the World comes the Fool. So again, that openness, the renewal, going on a new journey, on a new adventure, seeking out new experiences. That's what is to come. But Spirit is saying, first and foremost, come into a space of wisdom. Yeah, I know how to do things the conventional way. There's the word, convention. I know how to do things in the conventional way. I know how to go about things in a way where it makes sense with the world and with society and with the environment and so on and so forth. That is a victory. Right on top of 6 of Wands. Yeah, that is a victory. That is bully for me, good for me. I have that. I know that. It doesn't mean that I need to keep doing it. There's something new for me to learn. But first come into a space where you have this sense of ownership over where you've been in this situation and everything that you have learned and grown into, that you also were divinely intended to. That is also divinely perfect, right? Everything is the way that it's supposed to be. So you were intended to learn and grow as you have. It's just that now something new needs to begin. With the 3 of Swords, we have the flowers here, and the 3 of Swords is a card that talks to me about learning from our suffering, or our suffering in general. And so in this image, it talks about learning with the flowers, gaining the benefit of the suffering that you have been through. And this is getting kind of almost visceral, and this could be something that triggers you, right? So Spirit is saying it's about you finding the thing that you hate the most about the situation. What do you hate the most? That you're feeling stuck, that you're feeling taken advantage of, that you're feeling limited, that you're feeling sad, that you're feeling angry, that you feel like you wasted a lot of time, that you feel like you failed. Whatever it is, whatever this sense of feeling small is, you have to, or you're being guided to really sit into it, really take it in, and then gain the flowers and the benefit from it. So if you feel like you have failed in this situation, own that as part of the old cycle, and then come into a space of saying, well, that means I really want to succeed. I really, really want to succeed. If you're angry, I really want peace in this situation. If you feel like you are wasting your time, I want to start using my time well. How do I do that? It's like learn from what has been the most painful in the situation, but also what has really kept you feeling very stuck, feeling very small with these little mini-me's here, feeling very small, feeling limited, whatever it is, right? Whatever that peak negative experience is, whatever you've been in denial of, own it, and then reframe it so that you can see what it is that you actually really want in the situation, because you wouldn't keep pursuing it and you wouldn't still be in it if you didn't actually want something from it. And then with the Two of Wands, Spirit is saying be clear that you have what it takes. What you need to do in order to thrive in the situation, in order to get to that point of perfection, is actually very small. Two of Wands is you know, the second of the wands. There's the Ace, there's the Two, it goes all the way to the King. So you're not required to have mastery in order to gain the perfection. You're not even asked to have the Seven of Wands or even the Six of Wands. Spirit is saying all it takes is the Two. And Two of Wands for me is this energy of I can handle it. And it's also a great antidote to fear. So I'm afraid that this is going to happen. Well, what's the worst that could happen? Well, I can handle it. What's the worst that could happen? Well, that could happen, or this could happen. Well, whatever it is, you go through every single scenario and you realize, Spirit is saying, that you can handle it. It's meaning that what you're afraid of in the situation is actually what you can handle. So it's about you becoming clear that that is the case. And so as you go through the fears and you start to realize what it is that you want, you also can realize that you have what it takes to handle the possibility of your fear coming true. So what's the worst that could happen in this situation? Something you can handle for sure, and something you can climb back from. Two of Wands is also make the actions, you know, do the things, take the steps, use the skills, the low practical stuff. Just do it energy, just do it, because you've got this for sure. And then we have Eight of Wands, and Eight of Wands is talking about, you see this energy here, this is someone who's running against the wind, and Spirit is saying that giving you the advice to become very conscious of energy dynamics in this situation. You have to become aware of when you're running counter to the energy and when you're running with it, right? Because it's not about whether or not it's the right thing to do or not, right? It's not like, oh, the energy is not going with me, I'm gonna drop it for now. No, because you have sovereignty in the situation and you can handle it. You can go against the wind. This person almost has a little smile on their face. You can go against the current. You can go against, you know, things that seem to be working against you in you getting the perfection that you want in the situation. You can handle it. But what Spirit is really speaking to is you becoming aware of energy expenditure. It takes a lot more energy to move against the current than to move with it. So it's for you to become aware that really when you have this experience, you're the one who is facing the, how do I put this, you're not in the path of least resistance, but you can put yourself there. And that's the advice that Spirit has for you. Gain awareness of when you're moving against the energetic current, and learn to shift yourself and to place yourself so that you don't give up on what you're doing, but you find a much easier way of going about it. And when you do that, then with the Eight of Wands, things are going to start moving a lot more easily, a lot faster. Eight of Wands is energy that just unfolds without inhibitions and limitations. It just goes, it just works, and it's going to work for you in this situation, especially the aspect of the perfection that is going to start working for you in this situation. It's going to start coming true. It's going to start unfolding, realizing itself, but it takes you shifting yourself so that you're not moving against the perfection that you want to have in this situation, and really aligning your actions, your intentions, what you're seeking in the situation, aligning it with the inherent perfection, and it will just work out for you. So love, that was your reading. I do have a takeaway for you. We have got this card first, this side, beautiful card, and it says Knot of Isis. Part of your spiritual destiny involves a special relationship with the goddess. This means that not only do you have the important spiritual task of helping her thrive in this world, but you are afforded her power, protection, and abundance. You are now deepening your connection to the goddess. How absolutely beautiful. Wow. Again, goddess energy. You're divinely intended to have this. And for me, the goddess is really this aspect of divine energy that gives to us, that nurtures us, that really cares for us, where the masculine aspect of the divine is much more about leadership and teaching and lessons and these things. The feminine just gives that to us very, very freely. And that's what Spirit wants you to know. You're intended to have this. It belongs to you. Spirit wants to give it to you. It's a matter of you aligning with that in this situation. So love, that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it served you. If you enjoyed this reading, please leave me a comment. Tell me about it, right? But also, if you would like other readings, leave me a comment telling me about that. If you have questions, then drop them in the comment section and I will get back to you. I'll make videos, I'll write you, whatever it is, I'm here to help you. And of course, if you would like more help or deeper help, I do offer some in-depth intuitive readings, and I also have created healing work that you can avail yourself of, all very available. It is on my website, it's in the description box, and you can check it out if it speaks to you. I am sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, all the best. May you be blessed always and in always, and I will be seeing you around. Bye. Hi love, hello and welcome to those of you who chose the second option. I've got a great reading here for you that is just wow. Spirit has got a beautiful, beautiful message for you. Hi love, hello and welcome to those of you who chose the second option. I've got a great message here for you from Spirit. So let's run through the cards and we are going to see what comes up. We've got rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering your life. We have Goddess Sekhmet and Fire Agate, Passion of the Lion Heart. We have the Chariot, Surrender your desire to control people. Eight of Wands, Page of Wands, Major Arcana number 21, the World, Nine of Swords, and the Five of Swords. And so, my love, with Passion of the Lion Heart, this is Spirit speaking to something that your heart wants and that your heart desires. It even is speaking to a way of life that is much more heart-centered, where you are doing what is most important to you. So the heart isn't actually an emotional center. It is a center of value, what you love and what you value. So this is about the passion of pursuing what is most important to you, what you love, what you are dedicated to, devoted to. This could be anything really, a passion, a project, a relationship, but it's really, Spirit is putting it in a central way where it has to do with what is the most present in your life as you're watching this reading. What is your heart talking about? What is most important to you at this time? And it is about you pursuing that, giving yourself over to that, for the purposes of making it come true, but also because you're really ready to shift into a much more heart-centered way of being and functioning. Because we have here the Chariot, and this Chariot illustration is just so perfect. You have here the being who is wearing the armor. They have got the crystal, so there's clarity here, but there's also the compass, and the compass represents the heart and their heart center. So they are holding this heart center. They're on a chariot. They're getting ready to move. They have their guides leading the way on a golden road, and all of these spirals here in the back represent higher dimensions, a dimensional shift. You're ready for a higher level of reality generally. You're ready to take things to the next level. That's the message the Spirit is giving you. So you may or may not be aware of this, but Spirit is saying it's time for you to take things to the next level. And the way in which you do that is to follow your heart. So there are situations and circumstances at this time in your life that are really showing you what your values are, what is important to you, what matters most, what are your goals, what are your intentions, where are you trying to direct yourself and your life. and you're intended to work this situation in order to evolve, grow, but also in order to bring tons of blessings into your life. We will get to that. But this Chariot card is a card that really talks about transcendence. So leaving something that is more base, more dense, not because it's bad, but just transcending, moving to a higher level. The Chariot is a vehicle of interdimensional travel and growth and evolution. The Merkaba, if that speaks to some of you, it's time for you to step into the Merkaba. It's time for you to, again, transcend situations and circumstances in your life and move to the higher level. Because those situations with this card, I'm not going to read the text because it's really coming through as a situation where you're being controlled. So it would be like, on the one hand, there's what you love, what you value, where you want to go, what you want to realize for yourself in life. And then there's where you are, and where you are is controlling to you in some way, shape, or form. It's controlling to for your spirit. It's controlling maybe for your values, right? That you have certain values, but maybe you have a job or a partner or circumstances, conditions. It could even be something like having a lot of debt and you can't go, or you feel like you can't go for that career that you want because you have all this debt, and so the debt feels like a form of control. And it is, at a level of society, it is an aspect of societal control. So there are situations or circumstances that are holding you back, and with all the black here, they're just having a very tampering, limiting effect on you, holding you back, holding you down, and again, feeling like you are being controlled by the situation and circumstances. And Spirit says that it is time for you to transcend this and to move on. Now, the message that you're getting when we have a major arcana here and we have the major arcana of the world, I'm just laughing because the energy that came through was so funny, obviously, but it's like, this Chariot talks about you and your at a soul level being ready, but also able to transcend these dynamics and really yearning to. And I just got this energy of your soul here going, yeah, I'm done. I'm just done with it. I'm just done with it. Been there, done that. And it's a very serene, very bright, very loving, wholesome energy that is just, I'm done. So there's no karma here, there's no attachments, there's nothing to figure out in terms of this control. There's nothing where you have to do this work to kind of disembed yourself, and to some degree you may think that you need to. So you may be trying to reason with people, you may be trying to fix the situation, you may be trying to resolve things, but energetically speaking, and at the level of you as a soul and your growth and your evolution and your story and your truth and your being, you're done, and you're happily done. Everything, karmic debts are paid, everything is paid, right? The physical debt may not be, but the karmic debt is paid, and so on and so forth. There may still be resentment or things that are coming at you, or even that you're feeling, some energies that you're putting out, as we can kind of see here. But again, Spirit is telling you, your soul is telling you, we're done. It's done, right? So it's about curbing the behaviors that kind of have you giving this energy or getting hooked into it, which is also part of the control, because you don't need that anymore, and you don't need to be anymore, because this is where you're headed. Blessings are showering your life. It's time to come out of this big like a fort, right, where you've been, and to come out into a bigger, brighter reality. And when you see these castles, those walls are very thick, and so it brings a lot of coolness inside. It's cold on the inside, it's dark on the inside, the windows are small, all of these things. It's like coming out of a sense again of being trapped or held, but also just being in conditions that just are not ideal anymore. It's colder, it's smaller, and now it's time to come out into the light, come out into the sun, and again, to have lots and lots of blessings coming to you. These blessings with the Eight of Wands, they're on their way, they're gonna come. They're gonna come no matter what, and that's also the message for you. The Spirit wants you, with the Page of Wands, to have the right perspective in engaging with them, so that you first of all, know what it's about, and you can recognize it as blessings, and you can engage with them, because again, energetically you're done, so the energies are just going to get moving, and they're just going to keep going and lead you towards more blessings, and these blessings that are going to come in hot and fast, and they're showering your life, and they're just coming in, coming in, coming in. This energy is on the way. The wands are in the air. They're going to land. I'm not getting timing necessarily in Spirit, saying it's not about timing, but it's just about kind of a new cycle that's starting up in your life, and that you're going to be caught up in, and that Spirit wants you to be focused on and to give your energy to. Page of Wands is a card of excitement, of enthusiasm. It is also a card of aspiration. So there is a degree to which you're being asked to align with this energy and figure out what you want to use it for, right? So next time this cycle ends and you're at the World card and you're like, oh, all is well, I got everything that I wanted in this situation, I'm done. What does that look like? Where do you want to be at the end of this cycle of energy? Basically, what do you want to do with all of this good energy, all of this good energetic currency, with all of these blessings? Where do you want to lead and direct them? Because this writer here is being guided by the heart, but they're part of the process. They're part of the transcendence. They're part of the shift. It's a co-creation. And so it's time for you to listen to your heart. For me, the wands is the element or the suit that speaks to the heart. And so your intentions, your values, what is important to you, all of that is just conflating together right now, working together, converging, so that you can set your aspirations and set your direction for this new cycle of energy. What do you want to do with it? Be very conscious, be very aware. So that's one dynamic that's going to be very, very present. All of this good, positive energy coming along, picking you up, saying, hey, where you want to go? What do you want to do? How you want to do it? And and new things follow, and transcendence out of the old. Beautiful. On the other hand, there's also going to be an energy, so it's very polarized. There's a lot of light here, but there's also some darkness here. But the darkness is not a sign that there's stuff for you to work on. It's a sign of disintegration. So what doesn't work for you, where you're not aligned, is going to get harder and harder for you to be in. And very specifically, we have two dynamics here that are just absolutely perfect. Nine of Swords, beating yourself up. Five of Swords, externalized energy, right? So it's like energy of conflict, energy of breakdown, but this is a breakdown that's, again, internalized. You're pointing it at you, you're blaming yourself, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling ashamed, you're feeling small. And then here, a lot of anxiety, and then here it's a lot of arguments and drama and conflict, and a lot of noise is what I'm getting. Also a lot of noise, and both of these are going to be the opposite of the piece, the opposite of the Page of Wands energy. And there's going to be a question over and over again, where do you want to be? It could be as simple as, let's say you have roommates that is not an ideal living situation, right? And it could be something like you leave your room, you're in your room, you're in your energy, and you're aspiring and you're planning, I'm going to go here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then you leave your room and you meet up with your roommates, and they're starting stuff. Oh, you didn't do this, and you didn't do that, and I don't like how you do this, and da 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 da. And then you could go into that, right? And start arguing with them and start putting your energy into that. And that's the only way in which this situation is going to continue, right? It's for you to put energy into it. In the same way, you could be aspiring to a lot of things one moment, and the next going, oh yeah, but I don't have what it takes to, and then this happened, and I don't know how it's going to work out, and I don't know how it's going to come together, and oh my god, I made this mistake and that mistake in the past. Am I even good enough for this? Nine of Swords is a lot of self-criticism. So what I'm getting here is also a lot of undermining yourself. Aspiration, I'm gonna travel around the world. Oh, but I'm not good with people, and I'm not good with languages, and can I even do this? And you start undermining yourself. And so these are two dynamics to be very, very aware of, and to make sure that you don't fall into it, because Spirit is saying over and over again, it's up to you. You choose to give it energy or you don't, and you're being guided to become very aware of it and to choose not to give it energy. A lot of this energy with the people is also control. When we grow and we transcend and we evolve, a lot of people try to hold us back. It's not something that's natural, but it is something that's very common, and it's something that has to do with I believe that we're just energetic beings, and we're interconnected species, so we're used to being together and we just want to stay together. And for a lot of people it's easier to hold us down than to rise with us. And for some people it's impossible to rise with us, right? So from that perspective, it's either the relationship transforms and they can't go with us, even the relationship ends and it's not what they would want, and so they try to hold on, and it can become conflict. It could be getting also a lot of judging and a lot of what's the word, berating, belittling, criticism, those kinds of energy. So again, if you, from you, but also from people around you. And so again, this is not anything you need to resolve. It's not anything you need to give your energy into, but be aware that it is unfolding and it is going to happen. So I'm going to draw more cards, and I'm just shuffling off camera for a little bit because I forgot to shuffle the deck. And that's it, all it is. I forgot to shuffle the deck. So I do it now and we keep going. Is it my preference? No. But there's a lot of this energy of beating yourself up for, it seems small things, but having the deck shuffled is necessary for me to do this reading. So again, it seems very much that it's almost like in the fabric of you pursuing what you love and focusing on what is important to you, there's a way in which you can beat yourself up, maybe for it even being important to you or even valuing it, that you're going to be weakening your connection to what you love, because it's based on you. You love it. You think it's important. You're choosing it. You're prioritizing it. And if you weaken yourself, then you're also going to be weakening your connection to it, which is so primordial at this time. So we have Two of Pentacles. We've got the Empress, Major Arcana number 3. We've got a Four of Pentacles and a Nine of Swords again. Wow. Oh, I love it. But I love this depiction. So let's see the advice the Spirit has for you. Yeah. Two of Pentacles is reiterating the message. It's just time. It's a shift. It's a shift. You're in a shift. And the Pentacles represents years, for example. So this could be, for some of you, really feel if this resonates with you, but it might take you a couple of years to make the shift and to really see it through to where you're completely out of the castle, completely done with these situations and these patterns, and completely living in the blessing, in the radiant blessing that will be your reality, right? Like a walking, talking dream, a living dream full of blessings. It's a shift. It's underway. It's going to happen. It is what it is. It's like the turn of the seasons. It just is going to happen. You can't stop it. You can't do anything about it. It is about you, riding the wave, experiencing it in the best way possible. With the Empress here, you're getting the advice to really focus on abundance. So the Empress represents this energy where we are so abundant in what we love and what we value. It's Venus energy, so the planet of what we love and value. And so Spirit is saying just place yourself square. But you see how it's an Empress. It's not a queen, it's an Empress. There's a lot of dignity, a lot of pride, and you're getting this advice to really own what it is that you love and what you value, what's important to you, because Major Arcana energy, there's a soul level implication. The cycle that's starting up in your life is one that is intended to nourish you at a deeper level, because your soul is done and is moving on. And so what you love and value right now, what's important, what you're putting your energy into, is really who you are as a soul. And so Spirit is saying stand in that, because if you belittle yourself in it, or you allow other people to belittle you in it, then you're basically having your soul belittled. And those are things that are very toxic and harmful to us, but it's like sacrilege, and it's something that you don't want to do to yourself. It's also something you do not want to allow others to do to you, because they're like creating like a soul crime and they don't even know it, right? So it's bad karma, it's bad juju all around. Stand in your dignity, stand in the truth of what is important for you. You don't have to convince anybody of it. They don't have to be able to see it. You just have to not even know all of the dynamics and how everything's going to work out. Just that this is what you love, this is what you value, this is who you are, this is what is important to you. And the more you own it, the more you're going to learn about yourself as a higher being, as a greater being. With the Four of Pentacles, there's a message here of really, really grounding. So this is big energy. We have the Chariot moving, a lot of transcendence, a lot of things happening. Four of Pentacles is talking about grounding. Make sure that you're grounding yourself on a daily. So this could be meditation. This can be a routine. Eat like at the same times. Do things at the same time in a very grounded and quite structured way. This can be to even eat foods that are grounding. So foods that are from the earth, lots of vegetables, drink a lot, take really good care of your body, also your diet, a lot of self-care. I'm getting a lot of messages and energies about really tending to yourself and tending to your body and tending to your physical life, but also in your environment, right? Keep things tidy, clean, drink lots of water, get lots of rest, eat well. Really give yourself the best foundation you need to move through this. Ground, ground, ground. For some of you, go out into nature. It's going to be different what you all need, and it's the same level here. As much as you're learning about your higher being, there's also a lot of learning or application of learning from an old cycle about your earthly being. What do you need as a human? And give yourself that, because this is a lot of energy. This is a lot of shift, a lot to go through. Ground, ground. For the love of God, ground. It's that kind of energy. And finally, Nine of Swords. Look, you see how this person here, they're in a house, but they're looking out and they're seeing snow. And because they're looking at the snow, they're actually manifesting it in the house. It feels like it's snowing in the house. They're in the shelter, a space that's dry, but they're bringing in the wet, they're bringing in the cold. And we're talking about the castle here, right? And so Spirit is saying, basically, be aware that you're the one who is... you're the one who allows these energies, these things to get to you, to reach into where you are. And you're the one who can also keep them out. Take this power, claim this power, keep out what needs to stay out, right? The snow belongs outside. It's snowing outside, not inside the house. That's the natural course of things. And so in the same way, I feel like a lot of this energy that people have, a lot of this drama, that's their energy. Let them keep it, let them have it. And that to be aware that there's an interconnection with these two that I didn't mention is that if you're allowing this negative energy from outside to come in, it's because you're feeling guilty, you're feeling small, you're belittling yourself in some kind of way, shape, or form that is manipulating you into opening the door to it, right? So as within, so without. So it's like you're feeling bad within yourself, so you actually leave your room, you leave these positive energies, and you go to seek out these people so that you have that match for how you're feeling on the inside. Really patrol it. I'm getting this energy like a cop. Patrol your inner state of being, your thoughts. Be very aware of them so that you're not allowing them to undermine you within and without in any way, shape, or form. Like, you have that power. So love, that was your reading. I do have a takeaway for you. We have this card here. Let me show you the card before I read you the message. It says, stay true and be in your power. Well, there you go. You are a sovereign divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within. Amen. You do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you so choose. This is your divine birthright. Guard it as the precious treasure that it is, and remember that you are a divine being free to be you. Absolutely. You're coming into a time, and you know, sometimes for some of us, we feel like we haven't had precious things for a long time. Maybe you haven't had precious relationships or connections or precious dreams or even precious belongings, whatever it is. You're coming into a time where you're going to have a lot of blessings. You're going to have a lot of precious things to protect. And so Spirit says that the most precious thing right now is you. It's your peace of mind. It's your connection to your heart so that you can fuel this process. Protect those things. Protect yourself here and now. Take good care of yourself and enjoy the ride, love. So that was your reading. I hope that it served you. I certainly enjoyed giving you this reading. If you did enjoy watching it, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and please leave me in the comment other readings that you would like me to do, questions that you have. Drop it all in the comment section. And then if you would like further help and assistance, I do offer private readings, and I do have very specific readings that have to do with self-love or life purpose, a soul connection also that may help you in this situation. And I also have created some healing work that you can read and enact on yourself in your own time at your own pace. I also have a huge healing process for enacting change. So again, if it speaks to you, you can check it out. It's all in the description box. And I will be seeing you around. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best. May you be blessed always and in all ways. And I will be seeing you around. Bye. Hi love, hello and welcome to those of you who chose the third option. I've got a really great reading for you here. Messages that Spirit has for you. We've got Fogged In, Go Slow, Take Time, Divine Rebel with Ascended Master Kuan Yin and Pearl. We have the Four of Pentacles, Surrender to Effortlessness, Major Arcana number 6, the Lovers, the Five of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles again. So we have double tarot. I love double tarot. So, love. In this reading, Spirit wants to talk to you about something that you're pursuing that is very central to you being you. So Divine Rebel is a card that talks about being someone with a unique way of being in the world and usually at odds with the status quo, with the mainstream way of being. But it's a card that talks about being yourself and pursuing that in the world. And it talks about how there are things that are going to fit you when you're being this divine rebel, when you're following your authentic way of being in the world, that are going to fit with you, that are going to come to you, that are going to serve you, like people who are going to understand you, people who are going to want to buy your products, people who are going to want to listen to your songs, people who are going to want to be your friends, and then of course maybe even practices, ways of being that are just going to make a lot more sense to you. For example, for me, it was veganism. I basically have wanted to be a vegan my whole life. I just didn't know it. And then I came to a level where I was living my own truth. Veganism came along and I was like, oh, match made in heaven. It's like that. There are practices. There are ways of being. There are places to live in, ways to live in, right? If maybe, a way to build a house. There's just all of these things in existence that are going to be able to help you to live a much truer version of yourself. And Spirit wants you to know that. It's not like becoming yourself and stepping into who you are means that you lose everything, right? So for some of you, it could be like, if I follow this. For some of you, it's just your sexuality, for example. So if I follow my natural sexual orientation and live that out, then everyone is going to shun me. And Spirit is saying, well, that's a decision that they are free to make, but it's not a decision that needs to determine how your life is going to be from then on. It doesn't mean if I follow my heart, the Lovers here, if I do what my heart is asking of me and I follow that, then I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be poor. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be insert whatever your fear is, right? Spirit is saying that's not the case. There's so much that is going to come in for you, but you don't see it yet. So let's break it down, go more into the cards. With Fogged In, Go Slow, Take Time. Spirit is saying, first and foremost, I need to understand that this kind of process is one that takes time. The Four of Pentacles, both of them are also reiterating this message. It's a process that you don't need to have figured out today. You don't need to be there today. And logically, you're not going to be there tomorrow. What happens is that with the Lovers here, there's again that message about the match. And we have here the divine energy overseeing. And then there's a match. For feminine, there's masculine. and we're talking here about the energies where there's yin, there's yang, so there's going to be that match. It's made, it's like Spirit is telling you that's how the world works. Even if it may not be what you've experienced, that's how the world works. You have one pole, the other pole, magnetism, boom, you come together. You're yin, there you'll find yang, and in one moment you can be yin, the next moment you'll find yang, can be yang, and if you're yang, you'll find yin. You're always going to find that match. That's how Spirit is saying, that's how I made the world to be. That's what life is. That's what existence is. Because with the lovers here, this is talking about your soul and you growing and you're evolving and you living life in a much bigger and expanded way that we all are intended to live in. However, with the Five of Wands, there is things that kind of get in the way of that. There are different energies, and I love the Five of Wands in general. Actually, I love all the 5 cards because they are just so much the meat and potatoes of what we experience. It's very like when the ego gets involved, because Five of Wands is everybody having their wand. They have their energy, they have their difference, they have their way of being. But then when you interpret the Five of Wands, or you're living out, that difference can become competition, it can become conflict, it can also be play, right? It really depends on what we bring to it. And at the heart of it, Spirit is saying that all it is that you have an energy, you have an intention, you have a way of being and living that is just different than everybody else's. But it doesn't need to lead to competition, comparison either. It doesn't have to lead to conflict. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It just has to be that you come into the space of the Two of Wands where you do you. You follow your path. You're true to you. You do what you gotta do. You be who you're intended to be, right? But also at a deeper level, who you need to be. You need to be you. And for me, Two of Wands is this lower level of power where we do power. It's about actions. It's about choices. It's about engaging. It's about realizing it, right? It's not just I think I'm A, B, C, or D, right? I'm different in this way. But basically, Spirit is saying it's not about just keeping your difference as something that you hide, or, you know, to go back to the example of sexuality, staying in the closet. It's not about something to hide. It's not about something to be ashamed of. It's not about something that's bad, right? Or even to fight over. It's just you doing you. There's a big difference between, and it's part of the rebel energy, there's a big difference between being who you are and then rebelling against something. And this card also talks about how to really be a rebel in this day and age is to rebel for love. So you're rebelling to be yourself. You're rebelling to follow your heart. You're rebelling to do what's true for you, you know, what you love, to be you. That's the rebellion. It's not about rebelling against society, against culture, against religion, against family, against other people, against the workplace, against the industry, against standards, whatever. It's not about any of that. And the Queen of Wands talks about coming into this awareness where you're empowering yourself. Like, how you're going to empower yourself in this situation is for you to really embody your truth, to really live it out. The Queen's for me is embodiment energy. And with the Queen of Wands, there's this energy of self-esteem. So the Wands are our intentions, but also our actions. Just basically playing what we do, right? You know, walk your talk kind of energy here. And so it's talking about self-esteem. It's for you to grow into a person where you're happy with what you're doing. You're happy with what you're embodying. You're happy with what you're showing. Meaning also that you don't need to please anyone else. You just have to please yourself. And with the Four of Pentacles here, you see someone who's very big, and that's a very small city in the background. This is Spirit saying you are a big fish in a little pond, and you may have felt like that your whole life, or rather you may not have felt like a big fish in a little pond, but have felt out of place. There you go. But Spirit is like telling you to, or advising you to place this sense of being out of place in this notion of just being bigger than what your environment can handle. It doesn't mean you're better. It doesn't mean that what you want or what you're aiming for is better, right? That's how we get into conflict. No, my way is better. No, it's your way. That's all it needs to be. It just needs to be true to you. That's it. That's it. And with that, we have surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. And boy, when I put it all together, I really know this energy is this energy of I'm stepping out of the status quo. I'm stepping out of the mainstream. I'm doing something that not everybody is doing. So I have to show them how true it is, how right it is, so that they will understand why I'm doing it. And that can be very, very heavy. And with this energy here of the Four of Pentacles, Spirit is basically saying that's not power. The power is to be centered in you. This represents a symbol that is linked to Mother Durga and is the fort. And it's the impregnable fort. So the fortress that cannot be overtaken, that cannot be assaulted, that cannot be breached. It's absolute and complete sovereignty and wholeness unto yourself. And that's what Spirit is saying. That's where you're going to find your power. And it's showing up as a Four of Pentacles in the earth element. This is who I am. This is how I was born. This is how I choose to lead my life. Four of Pentacles is also a practical element, telling you that at a practical level, the easiest way to live, the most practical way to live is by being yourself. Once we start trying to live as not ourselves, we run into all kinds of trouble. The most effortless way of living, where we don't have to push so hard, is where we're just living as ourselves, but also in an empowered way, so we don't have to convince anyone of who we are or of how right it is to live as we are. You see this person here holding the pentacles? They're holding those pentacles. They're keeping them to themselves. And Four of Pentacles can be a card of avarice and hoarding. And Spirit is saying, yeah, hoard it. Hoard it until you can find people who are going to understand what it is that you have to offer, or even going to be able to recognize what you're holding, right? If it's precious to you, it makes sense to you, it's okay that you may have some time where you can't share it with others. It's gonna take some time, but you will get there. And that is also the nature of the effortless flow. When you're in a space where you're empowered and you're valuing yourself and you're valuing what you have to offer, the pentacles you're holding, the position that you're in, oh, I love this, right? Valuable thoughts, valuable heart, values, valuable values, right? Valuable intentions, a valuable position in life, and that's yours. And then you offer it and you can share it when the time comes. But it's okay if for now it's just yours and it's just for you, and for you to sit in that and to value it also, and to be empowered in that being the case, though the way of things, for a while. But that match will come, and effortlessly so. And the more you're in this empowered state and space and kind of centered there and dwelling from there, the more that's the case, the more you will feed the dynamic that is going to bring things to you, or bring you to them, right? Because there's people, there are places, there are situations, there are practices, there are causes in this world that are also waiting for you. And you will converge. So I don't feel like you need advice, because I feel like you already got some advice. So let's just see what Spirit wants to add. Let's see what Spirit wants to add. I need 4 cards. There we go. We've got Two of Pentacles again, and I did shuffle them. 8 of Pentacles. Oh, I love it. Oh, this deck is really awesome with its illustrations. We've got the 4 of Wands. I believe it's the Silver Witchcraft Tarot. And then we've got the 5 of Wands. Again, double tarot again. Yay! Okay. Yeah. Two of Pentacles is talking about something that I like to call departure. And departure happens when we step away from the status quo, and again, the mainstream way of living. And that's what it is. It's a departure. You just leave. You leave them to it. It's not for you. You just shift into a different space and place. But what Spirit is saying is that, you see how this person is in the cold here, in the winter. This shift that you make, where you shift to a higher level of reality for you, because it fits you, right? It's not an objective thing. It's not subjective either, but it's just individual to you, tailor-made to you, authentic in that way. This shift is going to allow you to come out of the cold, break out of what's been frozen, what's been stagnant in your life, and allow for movement to come in. In other words, this is a positive shift, but it's a shift you have to make, because in as much as making this shift and really, again, empowering yourself to be yourself, that's how wild it is, right? We have to empower ourselves so we can be ourselves. I remember doing this whole healing process, and I asked my healer, how will I know when the process is done? And she said, when you feel like you can be yourself. And that was years and years and years. So imagine years and years and years of healing, so I can just feel like I can be myself. But that's the world we're living in. And so as much as you have dynamics here that can take you out and undo this freeze and help you move onwards, Spirit is saying that those same dynamics, if you don't feed into them, they can also refreeze, right? You can stay frozen. You can move on, but you can also keep yourself stuck. So you have to be very aware of those dynamics. And it's almost like when you're making choices, especially big choices and even big life choices, right? If you're choosing to move or choosing a job or looking at a partner, really consider what is going to help me move on and what is going to help me or what is going to, well, not help you stay stuck, but that's really what it is, right? They're a part of ourselves. We sabotage ourselves. So is this going to help my higher growth and evolution, or is this going to help my saboteur, my inner saboteur, keep me stuck? For you to choose, for sure. With the Eight of Pentacles here, I love this so much. You see all these lights. Spirit is acknowledging work that you've done. You're at this point right now because you've already been working so much. And you see how this person has already put up 7 lights, and then they're working on this one. So Spirit is saying it's almost like a finishing touch, a crowning touch. You wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be able to do this work of empowering yourself and shifting yourself and your life in such a way if you hadn't already done all of that work. And so all of that work is not idle. It's actually providing light while she's working on this one. So she can do this one much more easily, much more quickly, much more agreeably, right? It's a much more agreeable process based on what she's already done, because she's helping herself with the work that she's already done. And Spirit is saying it's the same thing for you. Eight of Pentacles, yes, there's going to be work. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it's a card that talks about how we occupy our time, occupation, right? So every moment of every day, it's going to be a continual thing. It's not something where you can just choose one thing one moment, choose the other, because actually if you're choosing to move forward one moment and then you choose to move back, then you're going to go back. It's you can really do a one step forward, one step back kind of situation, and even one step forward, 2 steps back, and so on and so forth. So there needs to be the diligence every moment of every day where you're becoming aware. And it's not about perfection and getting it right every single time, but it is about putting in the work. But it's work that's going to be a lot easier for you to do because you've already done a whole bunch of work. And we are going to do this work on the basis that when you are in a good place and you have, you're doing this work and you're where you need to be in your alignment, you're going to feel like this. You're going to feel fantastic. And you're going to feel like the Four of Wands for me is all is well. There's a sense of wellness within you, about who you are, about your place in the world, feeling like you're being met. And for some of you, this is other people. This could be people in your life who respond in a way that you never expected. So you can deepen those relationships in a positive way you never expected, and you're deepening those relationships. It could be finding new people. It could even be finding resources online. You're finding new YouTube channels. You're finding new books, resources, other things that just support you in feeling good about yourself and about moving in this direction. When you're in the right alignment, you're going to feel like all is well, and you're going to feel like you want to celebrate being where you are, right? Five of Wands is kind of when you try a little too hard, you're going to come in the Five of Wands energy, right? It makes sense. Four of Wands is you're right in the right alignment. Add another wand, you come into the Five of Wands. However, with this Five of Wands energy, we have people here who are holding hands. There's harmony. So this is Spirit telling you that it's also part of the process, meaning that very often when people do this kind of work, and especially go into a space where they're being very authentic about themselves, oftentimes it also includes setting boundaries and things like that. But basically we tend to overcompensate. So all of a sudden we get really touchy, or we get really excessive about, no, I don't do this, and yes, I do that, and da 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 da. And again, this energy of trying to convince other people and justify it and so on and so forth. And so Spirit is telling you that's going to be too much. That's going to be overshooting your mark. But it's okay. There's harmony in that because it's part of the process. And in a way, if you think about it this way, if you're in a situation and you're being way too excessive about your point, and you're saying, oh, I'm gonna, no, it's gonna be this way because this is who I am and that's what's true for me and I've got to have this, then what happens is that you create more space for you being that than you really need. It would be enough to just say, no, thank you, that's not for me. That would be enough. But then when you overshoot the mark, you go too far, but at the same time you create a lot of space. So if I did that a lot, and I now find, once I came back to earth a little bit more, and I was less extreme about my authentic being and all that stuff, and in my shift and transformation, that people often accommodate me in ways that I don't need to be accommodating. And they're like, oh, I don't want to offend you in this way. And I'm like, I don't care, I don't mind. But once upon a time I did. And so it just makes things easier for me in this way. So it's Spirit telling you, you're going to overshoot the mark. It's okay, but you don't need to at the same time. It can be a much more harmonious process if you will allow it to. But in any case, it will be okay. And again, it's a natural part of the process. So if that was your reading, that was so exciting. I do have a takeaway message for you before I wrap up. And it is this card. Beautiful card that says, Queen of Heaven. The Queen of Heaven, the Divine Empress of the skies, acknowledges your feminine authority now as a man or woman. You have a life path of spiritual leadership to bring qualities of mercy, compassion, and wisdom into the world. I love this. And I'm especially noticing the aspect of feminine authority, because that's feminine authority is, I am who I am, and that's it. Right? I know what's true for me. It's like authority over the inner realm. I know what's true for me. I know what makes sense for me. I live by it. And again, it's not it's feminine energy, so it's not the need to go outside and go into the world and to convince and so on, which has value. But right here, right now, this is the message. Spirit is saying, keep this as an individual process, an internal process. Live this for yourself now. And maybe for some of you, because there is a message of spiritual leadership, maybe afterwards you're going to go and share, and you're going to go and expand upon it in the world and serve in that way. But right here, right now, the message is that be in this process where you get yourself where you need to be first, and then the rest will take care of yourself. And to some extent, pushing too much towards the external is part of the overshooting the mark. So love, that was your reading. I hope that it served you. And if you enjoyed the reading, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I would also love it if you left me a comment where you told me what kind of videos you would want me to make for you. How can I help you? Basically, let me know. If you have any questions, then drop it in the comment section. If you would like more help, I do offer private readings. There are in-depth readings where we look at self-love, we look at self-connection, we look at life purpose in really in-depth ways. And then otherwise, I have created healing processes, a whole healing system that can help you, where you enact healing on yourself in your own time, at your own pace. It's just really beautiful work. It is all there in the description box. If it speaks to you, then please check it out. And then otherwise, that's it for me here and now. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you lots of love. May you be blessed always and in all ways. And I will be seeing you around. Bye, love.